name is Cindy Castillo with Castillo Law. Today, I'd like to talk to you about your family member who may be held without bond in a Maricopa County jail or in the state of Arizona. There are essentially 4 different categories of crimes that a person might commit, and a judge will hold that individual without bond. That means that no matter how much money you could post, the individual will be held in a jail pending the outcome of their case. Those 4 categories include an individual who might have committed an offense against a child or a sex offense against a child. Another category would be if the individual is here in the United States and doesn't have permission to be here in the United States. And finally, the last category is if you are on probation and you commit a new offense while on probation, you might be held without bond. Or if you are pending another charge and then you commit another offense, you might also be held without bond in that situation. Now, if your family member has called you from the jail, or if you attended the initial appearance with your family member and you heard that the individual does not have a bond, the first thing that you need to do is to talk to an attorney about this. An attorney can, in some situations, file what is known as a Simpson hearing. Basically, this notion of a Simpson hearing comes from a case, Court of Appeals in Arizona, Simpson v. Owens. And what that case says is that an individual who is going to be held without bond has to have some due process. What is that due process? Well, basically, they're entitled to have an attorney represent them at this hearing. And at this hearing, a state's witness has to come in and basically show that the proof is evident, or that the presumption is great that the individual being held committed the crime and that a crime was likely committed. In these Simpson hearings, while they're not always successful, and I would say the majority of them are not successful, it is a tool for your attorney to use to determine what is the weight of the evidence of the accused person. There are some situations where an individual actually might be successful, and if they are successful, then a judge would give them a bond at that time, and your loved one would get out of jail under that bond. It is also a good tool because it also might show the state or the prosecuting agency that their case is not as strong as they might have thought it was. And so in that situation, they may also agree to a bond under those circumstances. Again, Simpson hearings are a tool for the defense attorney as well as your loved one. It should be considered in all of those situations where an individual is being held without bond. If this is a situation where the person is in custody and they don't have status here in the United States, or they may be awaiting status, that is another reason why an attorney may want to file a Simpson hearing, because if they can show that they actually do have permission to be in the United States, then a judge will then be able to give them a bond and they will be released. If you have any questions about your loved one being held without bond, please contact me. I do offer free consultations.